Words. When someone leaves, when someone drifts away, when someone thinks they can step out of your life and go find something better, it shakes you, it cuts deep. You start questioning yourself, wasn't I enough? Didn't I love enough? Didn't I give enough? And in that moment of pain, the temptation comes, you want to run after them, call them, text them, prove your worth, remind them of what they're leaving behind. But let me tell you something. The more you chase, the more they run. The more you plead, the more they lose respect. The more you lower yourself, the more you tell them that their absence controls your worth. And if you ever want someone to come back, if you ever want someone to truly regret walking away, the secret is not in chasing them, it's in doing something so powerful that their absence feels heavier than their presence ever did. You've got to stop thinking that love means begging. Love is not about giving someone permission to devalue you. Love is not about handing over the keys to your peace and letting them drive your emotions like a car they don't even own. Love is about knowing that you are worthy, even if they can't see it right now. It's about standing so strong in yourself that they look back and realize, I didn't just leave someone, I left something irreplaceable. And that realization, that's the very thing that pulls them back. See, the one thing you must do is this: step into your worth. That's it. That's the key. Not tricks, not games, not manipulations. You've got to become the kind of person whose life is so full, whose presence is so powerful, whose energy is so magnetic that their absence makes them ache. And when they watch you, when they see you living, when they see you thriving, when they see you moving forward without missing a beat, that's when they feel the loss. Because nothing makes someone miss you more than realizing you don't need them to shine. You've got to stop checking your phone every 5 minutes waiting for that text. Stop replaying the old conversations. Stop stalking their social media. That energy of desperation, that waiting posture, that obsession, it's not attractive, it's repelling. It doesn't pull them closer, it pushes them further away. But the moment you shift that energy back to yourself, the moment you say, I will not sit here and let your absence define me, something changes. You take your power back. And when you take your power back, you become unforgettable. Now understand this, human beings are wired to crave what they can't control. When you were available at every call, when you answered every message instantly, when you rearranged your life just to make them comfortable, they thought you'd always be there. They thought they could leave and come back whenever they wanted, because you weren't going anywhere. But when you pull back, when you show them with your actions, I am not waiting, I am not chasing, I am not begging, suddenly the script flips. They start to wonder, did I lose them? Did I overestimate my place in their life? Are they moving on without me? That wondering is the seed of missing you. And here's the beauty of it. You don't even have to say a word. Silence is louder than begging. Distance is more powerful than constant reminders. When you stop talking, stop explaining, stop over-giving, they are forced to sit with the reality of what life feels like without you. And let me tell you, if you were good to them, if you brought peace, if you brought love, if you brought light, they will feel that silence like an earthquake. They will feel that absence like a weight pressing down on their chest. That's when the memories come back. That's when they replay the laughter, the comfort, the way you cared. And when they compare it to what they thought they'd find out there, most of the time they realize nothing compares. But let me warn you, just because someone comes back doesn't mean they're worthy of staying. Some people come back not because they value you, but because they miss the benefits you gave them. They miss the comfort, the consistency, the access. That's why when they do come back, you have to stand firm. Don't lower your standards just because they returned. Make sure they return with change, with growth, with respect. Otherwise, you'll find yourself in the same cycle of hurt. Coming back is not enough. Staying right, treating you right, valuing you right, that's what matters. This is why your focus must shift from them to you. Build yourself, work on your goals. Invest in your dreams. Heal your wounds. Glow so bright that even your absence lights up a room. When they see that words, when they see you rising, when they see you flourishing without them, that's when they feel the deepest regret, because they realize they thought you needed them to be whole, but you never did. Words. And nothing breaks a person more than realizing they underestimated someone who found strength they didn't believe existed. Stop worrying about how to make them miss you. Stop worrying about how to get them back. Focus on becoming the best version of you, because here's the truth. When you become that version, they always come back, whether physically, emotionally, words, or in regret, they always come back, because a presence like yours is not forgettable. A spirit like yours is not replaceable. And a heart like yours is not found twice. But the greatest power lies in this. When they do come back, you'll be in a position to decide whether you even want them anymore. And that is the ultimate shift. Because the moment you realize you're not waiting, you're not begging, you're not needing, that's the moment you win. That's the moment you know your worth has outgrown their absence. That's the moment you realize they didn't break you, they built you. So if you want them to come back, just do this. Stop chasing, start building. Stop begging, start glowing. Stop waiting, start living. Be so powerful in your silence, so radiant in your purpose, so rooted in your worth, that their absence becomes unbearable. And when they return, make sure it's not because you lowered your standards, but because they finally rose to meet them. Because anyone can miss you, but only the right one will respect you enough never to risk losing you again. The key to making someone come back is not chasing them, but stepping into your worth so strongly that their absence feels heavier than their presence ever did. When you begin to understand what real worth looks like in your life, you stop running after people who walk away from you. You stop begging them to stay. You stop trying to convince them that you are valuable, because you begin to live in such a way that your value speaks for itself. And when a man leaves or pulls back, he expects the familiar words. He expects you to cry. He expects you to plead. He expects you to show him that his absence has power over your life. But when you shift the script and you don't do what's expected, when you pull your energy back into yourself, when you invest that love into your own growth, into your own peace, into your own joy, suddenly his absence no longer looks like freedom to him. Words. It looks like a mistake. And mistakes have a way of haunting people, because the mind replays what was good once it's gone, and the heart feels the weight of what it took for granted. See, words. When you stop chasing, you send a signal without speaking a word. You say, I am not here to convince you of my worth. You either recognize it or you lose it. And the human mind works in a powerful way. The moment something is not available, the desire for it grows stronger. The moment something is always available, it loses its shine. It becomes ordinary. And that's what happens in so many relationships. Women give men endless access, endless availability, endless forgiveness, and he doesn't feel the fear of loss. He doesn't feel the sting of missing you, because you never let him. And when he doesn't miss you, he doesn't value you. But the moment you step back, you change the game. You're no longer on the phone every second. You're no longer explaining every feeling. You're no longer making sure he's okay while you're breaking down. You shift the spotlight back to yourself. And that's when the seed of missing you gets planted. A man feels the weight of your absence when your presence had weight to begin with, when you carried yourself with respect, when you brought joy, when you brought peace, when you brought laughter, words, when you were supportive, when you were present in the right way. Then when you remove that energy, he feels the vacuum. It's like pulling air out of a room. Suddenly he can't breathe the same. And that's why stepping into your worth matters so much. Because if you never stood in your worth, your absence won't mean much. But if you carried yourself as a woman of value, then stepping back makes the silence deafening to him. Now, here's the truth that most people don't want to hear. If you want him to come back, don't make his absence easy. Don't reward his leaving by giving him more access. Don't text him trying to prove yourself. Don't chase him trying to remind him what you had. Let him feel it. Let him sit in the emptiness. Let him scroll through his phone and realize your name isn't lighting it up anymore. Let him go to bed and realize your voice isn't the last one he hears. Wards, let him wake up and realize your good morning is missing, because that's how men feel the gap. Men don't learn from being given what they don't value. They learn from losing it. They learn from silence. Wards, they learn from absence. Stepping into your worth doesn't mean acting cold. It doesn't mean bitterness. It means confidence. It means you have a life so full that you don't crumble when someone exits. It means you show him and yourself that your happiness is not tied to his presence, that you were whole before him and you'll be whole without him. And that energy, that kind of self-respect, that kind of quiet strength drives a man crazy, because it flips the script he thought he had control by leaving. Wards. But what he discovers is that the one who truly has control is the one who can walk away and still stand tall. Think about how powerful that is. When you stop begging, you stop chasing, you stop proving, and instead you start shining, you start living, you start thriving, you make your absence so loud it echoes. And that's when his presence in your life starts to feel small by comparison. You make him ask questions like, why is she not broken? Why is she glowing? Why is she moving forward without me? What did I miss? What did I throw away? And those questions are heavy. They gnaw at his pride. Words, they stir his emotions. And suddenly the weight of your absence hits harder than the comfort of his freedom. And here's another piece that matters. Words. When you step into your worth, you don't just create the possibility of him coming back. You create the possibility of something better finding you. Because sometimes the one who leaves isn't meant to return. Wards. Sometimes his absence is the blessing, and the space he leaves is the room for the one who will never leave. But either way, your power remains the same. You don't chase. You don't beg. You don't break down to prove your value. You let your life speak for you. You let your growth speak for you. You let your joy speak for you. And if he's wise enough to recognize it, he'll return. But if not, your worth will draw someone who does. So the key is not what you do to make him come back. It's who you become while he's gone. Wards. Because when you stand so strong in your worth, his absence will feel heavier than his presence ever did. And that's when the story changes. Not because you forced it. Not because you chased it. But because you lived it. You embodied it. And that kind of presence leaves an imprint no man can easily forget. Respect is born when you respect yourself, and the moment you stop being easily available, you plant the seed of missing you in their mind. Because the truth is, people value what they have to earn, they respect what has boundaries, they cherish what isn't given without thought. Words. And in relationships, this is one of the deepest lessons to learn, because when you hand over all of yourself with no limits, with no standards, with no self-respect in place, you don't teach someone to honor you, you teach them to consume you. And the more they consume without resistance, the less they appreciate it. Because it becomes ordinary, it becomes expected, it becomes background noise. And what is always present never feels precious. The first step in making someone miss you and respect you is respecting yourself enough to set the tone for how you are treated. And that begins with your time, your energy, your attention, your love. Because these things are not small, they are not cheap. They are the most valuable gifts you can offer. And yet so many women hand them out as though they cost nothing. Staying on the phone all hours of the night, always saying yes to last-minute plans, dropping everything for someone who doesn't prioritize them, forgiving without accountability, giving second and third chances without real change. And in doing all that, they believe they're proving love. Wards. But what they're really doing is teaching someone that their love has no price tag. And when love has no price tag, it gets treated like it's free. Words. And when it's treated like it's free, it gets taken for granted. But when you decide to step back and create boundaries, when you start respecting your time, words, when you say no to things that don't align with your worth, when you make him plan ahead to see you instead of showing up whenever he feels like it, words, when you stop answering texts in the middle of the night as if your sleep is worth nothing, when you stop bending until you break just to keep him comfortable, suddenly the balance shifts. Suddenly he has to think about you. Suddenly he has to work for you. And in that working and that effort, he begins to respect you. And when respect grows, so does the desire to keep you. And when desire to keep you grows, so does the fear of losing you. And that's the seed of missing you. Respect is not about playing games. It's not about being cold. It's not about manipulation. Words, it's about alignment. It's about saying I matter too. It's about saying my voice counts. My needs are important. My dreams are valid. Words. It's about showing up in a way that tells him you are not an option to be chosen when convenient. You are a priority to be honored. And when you live like that, when you stand like that, you force him to look at you differently. And the funny thing is, men crave this more than they admit, because deep down, a man doesn't respect what comes too easy. He might enjoy it, he might use it, he might play with it, but he doesn't respect it. And without respect, love cannot last. So when you stop being easily available, you teach him that access to you is a privilege, not a right. Words. You teach him that your time is not something he can waste. Your emotions are not something he can toy with. Your loyalty is not something he can assume without effort. And that shift makes him pay attention. It makes him evaluate. It makes him realize how much of you he had without appreciating it. And once you pull back, he notices the silence. He notices the distance. He notices that he can't just reach for you whenever he wants. And that noticing grows into longing, and longing grows into missing, and missing grows into regret. Words. This is why people say absence makes the heart grow fonder. It's not because distance itself is magic. It's because distance forces a man to reflect on what he no longer has easy access to. Words. It forces him to measure how much your presence mattered. It forces him to remember the way you made him feel when he had you near. And the deeper your worth, the stronger the impact of that absence. But the root of it all is self-respect. Because if you never respect yourself enough to step back, if you never respect yourself enough to set the standard, then he never feels the shift. And if he never feels the shift, he never misses you. Respect is born the moment you choose yourself over desperation. The moment you decide that you will not be at someone's beck and call. The moment you say, my peace matters, my happiness matters, my value matters, and I will not trade it for crumbs of attention. That's when the seed of missing you takes root in his mind. Words. Because suddenly he has to face life without your energy fueling him, without your presence uplifting him, without your loyalty covering him. And that loss hits harder than any argument ever could. Because arguments can be explained away, but silence cannot. Silence leaves space for memory. Silence leaves space for reflection. Silence leaves space for longing. And longing leaves space for missing. So if you want him to miss you, don't run after him. Don't blow up his phone. Don't remind him every second of what you had. Instead, remind yourself of who you are. Hold your head high. Protect your space. Lie fully. And let him feel the gap, because that gap will do what your words cannot. It will show him that you are not replaceable. It will show him that you are not ordinary. It will show him that you are not disposable. And in that recognition, his respect for you will grow. And the more he respects you, the more he fears losing you. And the more he fears losing you, wards, the more he misses you when you step away. Respect yourself first, because respect is contagious. When you demand it, you receive it. When you embody it, you attract it. Words. When you live it, you create an atmosphere where anyone who wants to be close to you has to rise to meet it. And in that rising, they realize how much you matter. And the thought of losing you becomes unbearable. Words. And that's when missing you becomes inevitable.